Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Adoptions from the Heart TV. I'm your host, Amanda Aliberti. Today, we are excited to welcome Tom, who built his family through open adoption. So welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Amanda. So good to be here.
So why don't you start by sharing with us kind of what led you to Adoptions from the Heart, why you chose our agency, where you were at when you were planning to build your family?
Sure. So, boy, I'm going to do a history lesson here. So our daughter is now 8.5, almost 9. So we're talking, nearly 9 years ago. So my husband and I were pursuing all the different routes for having a family. We kept coming back to adoption, just felt right for us. Adoptions from the Heart was our second adoption. We did our first adoption through a boutique agency that overcharged us. That was the 9 years ago. And while we were really satisfied with our adoption, we weren't really happy with the process. When we went to pursue our second adoption, Adoptions from the Heart was a local Cherry Hill office. And we knew that we wanted to not go the for-profit boutique private adoption route again, because that just didn't feel right. And we wanted to go with an organization that was more mission driven, was clearly about the people they were serving and not the checks that they were writing. Adoptions from the Heart fit that bill. And so we connected with the Cherry Hill office after we actually did some information sessions with other adoption agencies. And we came back to Adoptions from the Heart just because we felt connected with the staff at the Cherry Hill office, just like the vibe of the organization. So that's, we signed on with you all.
I appreciate you saying that, Tom, because when people think about building their family through adoption, there's so many different options, right? And I think that when you choose the agency route, the private agency route, which is very different than, fostering and whatnot, the hush-hush conversation that people don't really talk about is that there are fees associated with adopting privately, right? And we don't hide that. We're actually very proud to share all of our fees. They're online, they're available for people to see, because ultimately it does, take money to run an agency and be able to provide the service that we provide. But can you touch a little bit on that piece? Because people don't quite realize that, and the differences between making sure you choose the right agency, as you said, that their values are still there, as opposed to just a profiting business.
So that's the one thing that we really did appreciate, was the complete transparency of the organization. It allowed us to budget accordingly. Now, this was our second adoption, and so we were prepared for what the cost would be, but nevertheless, every agency's got some variation, and so this allowed us to budget accordingly. And I would say that sense of transparency kind of permeated through the relationships that we were developing with staff. That this was, we're going to be 100% honest with, every process, every part of the process. We're going to be here for you. And that's what we like. Like, that was our impersonal experience online, there was transparency, and that was reinforced when we met with the staff as well. So I just feel like that's, the connection that you all have with the people that you serve just is present in all aspects of what you do.
I think just having these conversations for people to hear is really important. People don't realize what you're paying for when you pay for agency fees versus maybe trying to adopt privately, right? Because you're able to receive the counseling, the support before, during, and after, the education, the particulars of what we do in terms of birth parent services, right? The support groups, all those things are things that are channeled through our agency, and that's what you're getting for when you have the backbone of an agency behind you, such as Adoptions from the Heart.
So let's make this real, right? So yes, and you saw my point, right? Like, so I really love the level of birth mom support that you all offer. That is so incredibly important. Our circumstance was very, very interesting. Our birth mom did not have insurance, and so we agreed to pay for medical expenses. And you all estimate it, and you estimate it high, for us. Thank you for that. And we said yes to that high estimate. But what your staff did was negotiate really strongly with the hospital, and we never paid that high estimate. Because you were able to negotiate down the price for self-pay to something that was incredibly, it was a giant gift that you all gave us, because you did a fantastic job negotiating with the hospital. So that's number one. Number two, we recently updated our wills and all of our estate planning and all that kind of stuff. And so we wanted to get extra copies of our kids' birth certificates so that we could have them in different locations. God forbid our house burned down, like somewhere else in the bank safe deposit box or whatever. Like, we would have extra original copies. I reached out to your team and immediately got response and help right away. Our second daughter, she turns 4 in a couple weeks. So 4 years post-adoption, your staff was right there, ready to help. Here we are. Oh, you have a need as an adoptive family. What is it? How can we help you? And let's engage.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, because again, I think that's the point of having us as your backbone before, during, and after you're placed with a child, and the idea of knowing that you can call us at any point, whether you're looking for services for birth certificates, or maybe you're struggling and need some support and counseling through your adoption triad, or your child is struggling and you need some support in terms of assisting them. So I like that you hit on that point, Tom, because this is not just a matter of here's a child, see you later, right?
Yep.
We're truly here for you. As we're talking about services and the importance of finding an agency that holds the same value system that you do, education is very important to us here at Adoptions from the Heart. And one of the things we talk about is transracial adoption, the importance of diversity, and just exposing a child, whether they are of a different race than you or not, to all kinds of backgrounds and cultures and birth parents and history and all that. Talk to us a little bit about your experience when you were parenting, or as you're parenting your children, and then what you have found.
Yeah, so kudos to you all, right? So the focus on transracial adoption is very present in your pre-adoptive and just in terms of your overall process. And good on you, because let me tell you, when we went with the other agency, and again, I'm not mentioning names, I'm not trying to disparage, but they were just about finding a baby and did no counseling about different races and different cultures. It just left us alone. And I think, we prepared ourselves, but it left us alone. Whereas with Adoptions from the Heart, it's been part of the core. Our second child is African American, so she looks different than us. It's been great, actually. We do our part to make sure that she stays connected to her identity. I have been so touched by how meaningful it can be to have a mixed race family, and what that means to strength, or how that strengthens your family, because you all have to kind of bend and learn and grow together. So I have even kind of connected with some transracial adoption specialists post-adoption, and we have worked very collaboratively together about how do we help prepare prospective adoptive parents to keep their child connected and not feeling isolated in terms of their racial identity. I actually wrote, can I share this?
We would love for you to share, yes.
I actually was invited to write a chapter. So I write kids' books as well, but I was invited to write a chapter for a book anthology called Wellness Through Words. and I'll promote it shamelessly because all the proceeds go to profit. So none of the authors actually benefit from the purchases. So 26 authors were invited to each write an individual chapter and offer their perspective to healthcare providers or about the healthcare system, etc. Well, I wrote a chapter about transracial adoption and the importance of adoptive parents in being open and enthusiastic about what they need to do to help keep their child connected.
And can you share, is that ready and available for folks?
Oh, it is available. Yeah, Wellness Through Words. It's, available at all the online retailers. Yeah, and there's links to, people can visit my website as well at tomtracybooks.com, and there's a link to that book as well as my other kids' books. Our family is a mixed race family. It's also an LGBT family, right? Our daughters have 2 dads. And so the reason I started writing was because I wanted to fill their shelves of their bookshelves with books that reflected families that looked like theirs. And there's just a dearth of, the more you segment it, right? Like there's, in this day and age, there are a good number of LGBT books or gay parenting books for kids that show 2 dads or 2 moms or what have you. But then throw a mixed race, a transracial adoption into the mix, and now all of a sudden your available supply of kids books kind of dwindles. That's kind of what I do, is now I write kids books so that I can help to advance the representation of diverse families of all kinds. And in fact, your executive director actually provided advanced praise for one of my books. So thank you, Heidi.
Tom, do you have any recommendations for folks who maybe are just at like the beginning stage of trying to expose themselves to more, trying to access, like you said, more children's books that show diversity and whatnot for their kiddos? Any suggestions or referrals that you can give?
Well, I would say that there are not just books, but there are a good number of communities like on Facebook, social media communities that are focused on transracial adoptions, and I'd find those, right? But then I'd also vet them, right? Make sure that it's right for you. One of the things that you should be looking for is the voice of the adoptee. Make sure that that's represented so that it is a well-balanced perspective. And of course, the voice of birth parents, certainly if that's there, then that's a plus too. And then I'm going to do a shout out to my friend who is the founder of a company called Identity. His name is Isaac Etter. He's located in, so Isaac? Okay, yeah. So he's written a book called A Practical Guide to Transracial Adoption. It's a great book that articulates his experience as an adoptee in a white family, and his awareness of what his racial difference meant amongst his peer group, and there's just some powerful testimonial in his book. So I would recommend that book. It's an easy read. I read it in like 2 hours. Like it's a really it's a quick book to read, but yet really hits home. So that's what I would recommend is, find your communities online. Plenty of people want to share. Plenty of people are hosting communities. And then reach out to Isaac or Identity. I think search it. It might be identitylearning.com or something like that. But he also has got a parenting kind of a spin-off company that he's working on as well. So he's a great resource. Or reach out to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we appreciate you, Tom, and just having the personal experience that you've had, sharing it, all the work that you're doing in your efforts to create more books for kids. What we're talking about is great. Anything else that you want folks to know who are just trying to learn and expose themselves? Anything else that you want our community to hear about?
Yes, I'm going to end with this then. Our personal adoption experience in our family has been wonderful, and we would not trade it for the world. It's been just a joy and a pleasure. And does it come with unique nuances? Of course it does, but all families come with unique nuances. So I would say it's just a beautiful, beautiful experience. And in many respects, because of the adoption triad, you get to experience something that other families don't. And it is just truly special. So embrace it. And even if you're waiting a long time, or if you've had some disruptions, it's still 100% worth it.
Well said, Tom.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. It's nice to know that you're on our team here at Adoptions from the Heart, and your beautiful story that you've shared, I know will help others who are just trying to learn and grow and be the best versions of themselves that they can be. So thank you for doing this. We hope that we will see you again, and good luck with all of your adventures and with your family and writing your books and all that goodness. So thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Continue to tune in to future episodes here at Adoptions from the Heart TV.